that it presses against your chest like the weight of the galaxy itself. The sunlight of Coruscant streams through the high windows, falling in golden triangles onto the polished floors of the Jedi Temple. You do not yet know the meaning of these corridors, nor the destiny that has brought you here, but you can feel it in the tremor of the force that hums faintly in the air around you. It is a whisper that you can almost catch if you reach out, if you listen hard enough. Your small hands clutch the smooth railing of the training stairwell, your heart pounding in tandem with a rhythm older than the stars themselves. The temple is a cathedral of knowledge and power, its towering spires reaching toward the heavens, its halls echoing with voices of wisdom and the footsteps of masters who have walked these stones for generations. You are a child here, yet even at your tender age, the weight of history presses upon your shoulders. The air smells of ozone and polished stone, mingled faintly with the sweet perfume of the hanging gardens. Every corner, every statue, every flickering torch feels alive, as though the temple itself breathes in quiet anticipation. Fear is a choice. A soft voice murmurs behind you, startling you. You spin to see a robed figure standing in the doorway. The face is kind, but there is steel beneath the warmth. Your mentor, your first guide into this vast, frightening new world, offers a hand, gentle yet unwavering. The force flows through you already, the voice continues, but you must learn to listen, or it will drown you in its current. You nod, unsure whether your trembling is from excitement or dread. Outside, the city hums and roars, but inside, the temple exists as a separate world, a sanctuary and a crucible. You glimpse other children, younglings like yourself, practicing slow, deliberate movements in the training halls. Their faces are masks of concentration, eyes closed as if seeing something you cannot yet perceive. You feel both envy and awe, wishing you could see what they see, touch what they touch, command what they command. The corridors twist and spiral, each turn a new mystery. Murals depict the ancient Jedi in battle, their lightsabers drawn, their faces resolute against shadows of countless wars. You trace a finger along one depiction of a Jedi, battling a monstrous Sith, the dark figure looming impossibly large, the struggle frozen in paint, yet alive in the Force. You do not yet know the truth of these stories, only the feeling that danger and darkness are not distant, they are inevitable. Your name is important, your mentor continues, now walking beside you. But the Force is older than names, older than titles, older than even your own life. Here, you will learn to become more than yourself. But remember this. Even the strongest Jedi is only as vigilant as their heart allows. You nod again, understanding less than you feel. There is a tension in the air, subtle, almost imperceptible, a warning unspoken, yet clear. You are introduced to the other initiates, a collection of faces, each marked by curiosity, fear, and an unspoken longing. You learn that friendship here is as dangerous as it is necessary. Attachments must be balanced with discipline, compassion, tempered by duty. Already, in these first moments, you sense the push and pull that will define your life, the light of the Order, brilliant yet fragile, and the shadow that hovers just beyond the edge of perception. The first lessons are simple: meditation, control, awareness. You kneel on the smooth floor, palms resting lightly on your knees, and close your eyes. The world fades, the roar of Coruscant, the echoes of footsteps, even the hum of your own heart, and all that remains is the quiet hum of the Force. It is a river beneath your feet, flowing endlessly, shaping everything, connecting everything. You try to reach it, to feel it fully, but the current is swift, and your small mind can barely grasp its vastness. A flicker of fear strikes you. What if you cannot hold on to it? What if it overwhelms you? Later, you are taken to the archives, a library that stretches higher than the eye can see, shelves stacked with knowledge older than the Republic itself. Scrolls, holocrons, and artifacts hum with the wisdom of countless Jedi who came before. You trace your fingers along a holocron, feeling the faint pulse beneath your fingertips, and hear, almost as if whispered in your mind, voices of those long gone. Advice, warnings, fragments of prophecy. You wonder what your place will be among these echoes of destiny. Your first night in the temple is restless. You lie in a small, austere chamber, staring at the ceiling, listening to the distant chimes that mark the passage of time. The Force feels heavier in the dark, its whispers sharper, more insistent. And then, for the first time, you sense something else, a shadow lurking just beyond the veil of your awareness, a presence that is not light, not familiar, but patient. It does not speak yet, but you feel its gaze, and your chest tightens. The Force trembles around you, as if warning you that your journey will not be simple, and that even here, in this sacred place, danger waits. Sleep finally comes, shallow and fitful, your dreams filled with visions of light clashing with darkness, of figures cloaked in shadow reaching for you, and of a voice calling your name, distant and cold. You awaken with a start, knowing that your life has already begun to change in ways you cannot yet understand. Outside your window, the sun rises over Coruscant's spires, bathing the temple in gold. Inside, the air is alive with the energy of beginnings, of destinies being forged. And beneath it all, something stirs, a darkness that will not be ignored. As you rise, ready to begin your first full day of training, a thought pierces your mind. The galaxy is vast, full of war, full of choices, and already you feel the weight of a storm approaching, one that will test every lesson, every bond, every ounce of courage within you. The first step has been taken, but the path ahead is uncertain, and the shadow at the edge of your sight promises that your awakening is only the beginning. You step into the corridors again, unsure whether you are walking toward mastery or toward a darkness that will claim everything you hold dear. The Force whispers in your ear, and you shiver. This is only the beginning. The rising sun of Coruscant does not touch the edge of your excitement. You can feel it in your chest, a tight coil of anticipation that thrums in time with the pulse of the city below. Today, you will leave the temple. Today, the lessons in the meditation chambers, the practice halls, and the archives will collide with the galaxy itself. Your first mission, your first real test, is not an abstract exercise or a simulated skirmish. It is real. The kind of reality where mistakes are measured in lives lost and consequences cannot be undone. Your master walks beside you, robes flowing, cloak brushing the floor. The cityscape stretches infinitely beyond the temple walls, towers glinting in polished steel, air traffic weaving like silver threads, the roar of a million voices vibrating in the streets below. You look down and feel dizzy, not from the height, but from the magnitude of what awaits. Remember, your master says, voice steady yet firm, the Force is your guide. Trust it, and trust yourself. The shuttle is small, its interior a tight cocoon of metal and humming engines. You sit across from other Jedi assigned to this mission, experienced, confident, calm. And then there is you, a young Padawan, your hands gripping the edge of the seat, knuckles white, your mind alive with questions, doubts, and a strange thrill. The engines roar to life, and the city fades, replaced by the endless void of space, stars streaking past as if rushing to greet you. The mission is simple in explanation but perilous in execution. Negotiate peace on a small outer rim planet, one whose resources are coveted by Separatist forces. But as your master explains, peace is fragile, and in the outer rim, the fragile often breaks under pressure. You listen intently, absorbing the words, feeling the weight of diplomacy before the weight of battle. You are not yet ready to wield a lightsaber in but you are learning that the Jedi's true weapon is far subtler. Wisdom, patience, control. Landing on the planet's surface is like stepping into another world entirely. Dust rises in waves as the shuttle doors open, revealing plains scorched by conflict, smoke curling from distant settlements. The sun is harsh, unforgiving, the wind carrying the scent of iron and ash. Local civilians move cautiously, eyes wary, hands hidden. And then you see the first signs of opposition. Separatist droids patrolling the outskirts, their metal bodies glinting, cold and unfeeling. You catch a glimpse of your master's hand tightening on the hilt of their lightsaber, not a prelude to attack, but a reminder of readiness. You are introduced to the planetary leaders in a hall carved from stone, walls etched with centuries of history, murals depicting battles long past. The tension is immediate. Voices rise, accusations and grievances spilling like lava. You watch, listening carefully. Every gesture, every pause, every word carries weight. You sense fear, anger, and despair radiating from those around you, and beneath it, an undercurrent of hope, fragile but persistent. Your master turns to you, eyes sharp. Speak, they say, and the sound of your name in that tone sends a shiver down your spine. You take a breath, the Force guiding your words. You address the council, attempting clarity, calm, reason. You feel the vibrations of the Force ripple through the chamber. subtle but real. You sense when someone speaks falsely, when someone conceals, when someone carries the weight of secrets too heavy to bear. But the mission is not peaceful for long. Outside, a skirmish erupts. Separatist forces attempt to ambush the meeting, blasters cutting through the air like sharp lightning. The ground shakes as droids advance, their cold precision meeting the determined, disciplined response of Jedi and planetary guards. You are ordered to stay back, to observe, to report, but your heart races. Every fiber of your being aches to move, to intervene, to test the lessons of months of training against the chaos of reality. From the corner of your eye, you glimpse your master in motion, a blur of grace and power, a lightsaber igniting in brilliant blue light, deflecting blasts with arcs of precision, moving with the certainty of one in complete harmony with the Force. You feel both awe and inadequacy. But even as you watch, a voice echoes in your mind, soft and urgent. Trust yourself. The skirmish ends as abruptly as it began. Droids retreat, fires smolder, and civilians emerge from hiding, eyes wide, hearts racing. Your first mission is a success, but not without its scars. You have witnessed violence, fear, and courage all at once, and the taste of real-world consequence is bitter and intoxicating. The Force still hums within you, a lifeline, a guide, but now you know it is also a mirror, reflecting both the light you carry and the shadows that stalk the galaxy. As the shuttle lifts off, carrying you back to Coruscant, you look down on the planet below. Smoke rises, scattered settlements smolder, and in the distance, a shadow moves, unseen, patient, watching. You do not yet know the full scope of what you have encountered, but you feel it. A darkness is gathering, a storm is forming beyond the stars, and already the galaxy whispers that your path, once simple and guided, is about to become treacherous. Your master places a hand on your shoulder. This is only the beginning, they say. Remember what you have seen, remember what you have felt, and prepare yourself, because the next trial will test more than your skill, it will test your soul. You stare out at the stars streaking past the shuttle window, and a cold realization sinks in. The galaxy is vast, full of war, and your journey, as a Padawan of the Jedi Order, has only just begun. The Force whispers again in your ear, and this time the words are sharper, insistent. The shadows are waiting. The temple's spires glow with the soft light of dawn, their brilliance masking the restless tension that clings to every surface. The clone wars rage across the galaxy, and though the Jedi cloak themselves in serenity, you can feel the strain beneath their calm. You are no longer a youngling fresh from the archives. The first mission has scarred you with reality, the smoke, the fear, the clash of ideals. And now, as you step into the training halls again, you sense the truth. You will never be the same. Your master tells you that war is not won by skill alone. It is won by unity, by the bonds between Jedi, soldiers, and those caught in the chaos. You will fight alongside brothers, your master says quietly. Clones, they are men bred for war, yet they feel as deeply as you. Respect them, and they will respect you. The first time you meet them, you are struck by the sameness. Rows of identical faces, identical armor, identical voices. Yet when you look closer, you see the differences. The way one clone adjusts his gauntlet with nervous precision, the way another smirks as though already certain of victory, the way another hums softly to himself, calm amidst preparation. They are individuals, even if the galaxy does not see them as such. You feel the Force pulse between them, threads of brotherhood woven tighter than anything you have ever known. One of them, Captain Rallo, approaches you with a grin. His helmet is tucked under his arm, scar across his cheek catching the light. First campaign? He asks, tone playful but not unkind. You nod, feeling heat rise to your face. He chuckles, clapping a hand to your shoulder. Don't worry, stick with us and you'll be fine. We've seen a lot worse than you. You laugh nervously, but his words echo in your chest. You are a Jedi, trained in the ways of the Force, yet here stands a soldier bred only for battle, offering you reassurance. Key. The bond begins there, fragile, unexpected, but real. When the transport departs, you sit among them, the clones' laughter and chatter filling the cold interior. They speak in nicknames, in jokes, in memories of battles fought days ago. You listen, tentative at first, then slowly daring to ask questions. They answer without hesitation, telling you of victories, losses, and the camaraderie that keeps them alive. You feel yourself drawn into their circle, not as a Jedi above them, but as one of them, a comrade. The mission takes you to a scarred world, its surface burned by months of conflict. Smoke rises from craters, forests stand blackened and skeletal, rivers run thick with ash. You walk with the clones, their boots crunching in rhythm, their movements precise, disciplined, efficient. And yet, when the march pauses, one of them produces a harmonica, another begins to tell a story, and laughter erupts despite the carnage around you. You realize then that this is their secret. They fight not because of destiny, but because of each other. Brotherhood is their strength. In battle you fight alongside them for the first time. The blaster fire scorches the air, droids march in endless ranks, explosions shake the ground like thunder. Your lightsaber hums, deflecting bolts, carving through metal with precision, but it is their voices you hear most clearly, the shouted commands, the warnings, the cries of encouragement. They move as one, and you are swept into their rhythm, your strikes and their volleys blending into a single tide of resistance. When one of them falls, a trooper named Vex, cut down by a hail of droid fire, you feel it like a physical blow. The others rally, dragging his body to safety, voices heavy with grief but resolute with duty. Later, around a small fire in the ruins of a village, they tell stories of him, how he was the best shot in the company, how he could sing better than anyone, how he once saved 3 brothers by charging into blaster fire without hesitation. You listen, silent, the weight of loss sinking into your bones. This is not like the temple. Here, loss is constant. Here, grief is carried not in silence but in remembrance. You begin to understand that war is not about glory. It is about survival, about the bonds you forge in fire and blood. You learn their language, their humor, their pain. They begin to call you kid, teasing you, laughing with you, treating you not as a Jedi but as one of their own. And for the first time you feel belonging, not just to the Order, but to something deeper, something human. But beneath the laughter, beneath the camaraderie, you sense something else, a shadow, a strange stillness in the Force when you meditate near them. It is faint, almost imperceptible, but undeniable. A subtle weight, as though their destinies are shackled, hidden behind a veil. You try to push the thought aside, to drown it in the warmth of their brotherhood, but the whisper lingers. They are bound to something you cannot see. One night, as you sit beneath the stars, Captain Rollo joins you. He doesn't speak at first, only passes you a canteen, staring up at the burning sky. Then he says softly, "You Jedi talk about destiny, about the Force guiding us. But what about us, kid? What if we don't have that? What if we're just here to fight and die?" You search for an answer, but none comes. You feel the Force tremble, as if warning you that his words are more truth than speculation. He looks at you, eyes hard yet weary, and says, "Just don't forget us. Don't forget we're more than numbers." Then he stands and walks away, leaving you alone with the stars and the weight of a promise you don't yet understand. The campaign ends in victory, but the cost is heavy. Too many names, too many bodies left behind. You march back to the transports, shoulders heavy with the memory of Vex, of Rollo's words, of the shadow you felt in the Force. The clones laugh and cheer, masking their grief with bravado, but you know better. Their bond is strong, but it is also fragile, held together by threads that the galaxy may one day cut. As the engines roar and the planet fades from view, you sit in silence, the echoes of their laughter mingling with the memory of their loss. You feel yourself bound to them now, not by the code, not by duty, but by something deeper, brotherhood. And yet even as the warmth of that bond settles in your chest, the shadow lingers. The Force whispers again, low and insistent, "These bonds will be tested, and not all will endure." The temple is quieter now. Its marble corridors echo with the same measured footsteps. Its spires pierce the Coruscant sky with the same proud defiance, yet something within you has shifted. The laughter of the clones still rings in your memory, their voices a chorus of courage and loss. You carry their names with you, their faces carved into the chambers of your heart. And now, when you kneel to meditate in the candlelit halls, the silence is heavier, the Force less serene, less distant. It is no longer just a river flowing around you. It is a storm surging within. Your master senses it. They sit across from you in the meditation garden, the air fragrant with the blossoms of alien trees brought from 100 systems. You feel it, they say, their voice low, steady, carrying no judgment, only truth. The Force is alive in you, but it is not only light, it reflects what you carry. Fear, anger, love, all of it. You close your eyes. At first the Force is gentle, like the warmth of the sun against your skin, but the longer you reach, the more it bends and shifts, showing you the currents beneath the surface, the grief of soldiers left behind, the anger of civilians scarred by war, the quiet desperation of worlds choking under the weight of politics. You feel it all at once, a symphony of emotion that threatens to overwhelm you. For a moment you gasp, your hands trembling. Do not flee from it, your master commands. The Force does not demand ignorance, it demands discipline. Feel it, hold it, then let it go. But letting go is not easy. When you release the sorrow of the clones, it clings to you. When you release the fear of death, it coils back into your chest. And when you release the anger at the Separatists, it sharpens into resolve. The line between release and control blurs, and you sense the danger the Jedi have always warned you of. Attachment to feeling, attachment to power. Later you practice with your lightsaber in the sparring ring. The hum of the blade vibrates through your arms, the blue glow illuminating sweat on your brow. You move as you have been taught, deliberate, disciplined, calm, yet something inside you rebels. You remember the droids firing in endless ranks, the screams of men cut down around you, the burning of the battlefield. Calm does not win wars. Precision does not save lives. Only decisive power does. Your strikes grow sharper, your movements faster, your will pressing harder with each swing until your master steps in, blade intercepting yours with a sharp hiss. Your strikes burn too hot, they say. The blade is not for fury, it is for focus. But in your heart you wonder, is fury not sometimes what is needed? That night, you return to the meditation chamber, the flickering candles casting shadows that dance across the walls. You kneel, breathing deeply, reaching into the Force again. This time, the visions come unbidden. You see worlds burning, clones marching, Jedi falling beneath blaster fire. You see yourself, standing amidst the carnage, lightsaber raised not in defense, but in judgment. A voice whispers through the storm. Not your masters, not the councils, but something else. The power is yours, if you dare take it. The war cannot be won by restraint. It can only be won by strength. You open your eyes, heart pounding, breath sharp. The chamber is empty, yet the voice lingers like smoke clinging to your robes. You remember your master's words, discipline, release, harmony. But another thought presses against them, undeniable. The Jedi fight with chains around their wrists. You have seen hesitation cost lives. You have seen indecision kill brothers. The Force could be more. You could be more. The next day your training shifts. Your master brings you to the archives, to the vaulted chambers where holocrons glow with the wisdom of millennia. Knowledge, they say, is as dangerous as it is precious. Some truths must be carried carefully. They place a cube before you, its surface glowing faintly, a whisper of ancient voices locked within. When you reach for it, the Force surges, and your vision swims. You see battles fought centuries ago, Jedi striking against Sith, the clash of blue and red sabers lighting fields of death. You hear voices debating morality, power, and the eternal struggle between order and freedom. The holocron hums in your hand, heavy, alive, and beneath it all, you feel another whisper, darker than the rest. The Jedi fear what they cannot control, but you could control everything. Your master snatches the cube from your hand, locking it away with a flick of the Force. Their face is calm, but you sense unease in their eyes. Not all knowledge is meant for Padawans. Not all paths are meant to be walked, but the holocron's voice is already etched into your thoughts. Not all knowledge is meant for Padawans, but what if you are more than a Padawan? You begin to test yourself in secret. Small things, subtle manipulations of the Force that push against the boundaries of your training. You extend your senses into the minds of others, nudging emotions, guiding thoughts. A clone nervous before battle suddenly steadies after a brush of your will. A merchant negotiating supplies falters, agreeing more quickly than he might have. It is intoxicating, the feeling of shaping the galaxy around you, and though guilt prickles at the edge of your conscience, the results silence your doubt. Still, in quiet moments, you feel the shadow. It hovers behind you, patient, waiting. The same whisper that haunted your meditation chamber lingers still. The light is too fragile. The dark is stronger. You will need it. On the training field, you duel another Padawan. Your blade moves with clarity, your will pressing against theirs. But when you sense their doubt, you push, not physically, but through the Force. They stumble, falter, drop their guard. Victory is yours, clean and decisive. The others cheer. Your master praises your progress. But you feel a hollowness in your chest, because you know you won not through discipline, but through influence, through control. That night, you dream again. Flames engulf the temple, the sound of clones' boots echoing in endless rhythm. Jedi fall one by one, their blades extinguished, their voices silenced. And there you stand, caught between fire and shadow, a lightsaber in your hand, and the whisper of destiny calling you closer. Choose, Padawan. The war will not wait, neither will the dark. You wake with a cry, sweat on your brow, the Force trembling in your veins. Outside, dawn breaks across the spires of Coruscant, gilding the temple in gold. But to you, the light feels thinner now, more fragile, as though shadows are already creeping in to claim it. And in your heart, you know this truth. The lessons of the Force are not only of peace and discipline, they are of temptation, of choice, of power waiting just beyond reach. You rise from your bed, robe clinging to your damp skin, and whisper into the silence, "I will not be weak." But in the stillness of the chamber, the Force answers back, an echo not your own. We will see. The galaxy does not sleep. War moves like wildfire across its systems, consuming worlds in smoke and ash. You are no longer just a Padawan studying within the safety of the temple. The Republic calls, and you answer, not because you are ready, but because readiness has no meaning when battle is constant. The shuttle rumbles as it pierces the atmosphere of a distant outer rim world. You sit on the cold metal bench, your hands clenched, feeling the vibration in your bones. Outside, lightning splits the sky, illuminating jagged cliffs and the scars of bombardment. Your clone brothers sit across from you, helmets clutched at their sides, their faces calm in the way only soldiers bred for war can be. Yet even through their composure, you sense unease. This mission is different. Separatist command is rumored to be on the surface, your master explains, their voice steady, but even you can detect the steel beneath. Not just droids, not just mercenaries. A leader. The word settles in your chest like stone. A leader. Until now, the enemy has been faceless, lines of metal soldiers, unfeeling and unthinking. But behind them is will. Behind them is purpose. And now, for the first time, you will face it directly. The shuttle lands hard, the hatch opening to reveal chaos. Blaster fire cuts through rain, striking sparks from the stone. The air is thick with the smell of ozone and burning oil. Clones pour out first, voices sharp with command, movements precise. You follow, your lightsaber humming to life, its glow carving away the darkness. The blade feels heavier tonight, not because of its weight, but because of the lives it will claim. Droids advance in endless ranks, their metallic feet clanging against the wet stone, their blasters spitting fire into the storm. You deflect, you strike, you move in harmony with the Force, but each moment feels faster, sharper, more dangerous than any training could prepare you for. Around you, clones fall, their white armor scorched, their voices cut short. And for every droid you cut down, 10 more seem to rise from the smoke. Amid the chaos, you feel it. Not the cold precision of machines, but the heat of intent. A will stronger than the rest. It presses against your senses, heavy, deliberate, like a shadow moving through the storm. You turn, heart racing, and there, beyond the battlefield atop the cliffs, stands a figure draped in Separatist colors. Their presence in the Force is undeniable. Not a Jedi, not quite Sith, but something in between. Their eyes lock on yours, and in that gaze you feel hunger. The battle fades into background noise as the figure descends, walking with measured calm, as if the storm itself bends to their pace. Your master intercepts them, blades clashing in a hiss of energy. The air crackles with power, rain turning to steam as sabers slice through it. You watch in awe, in terror. The fight is unlike anything you have seen, grace and brutality woven into one, the Force itself bending and straining with each strike. Stay back, your master commands, but the order is drowned beneath the storm. The figure laughs, their voice carrying through the rain like venom. Your order weakens with every battle. Soon, even the strongest of you will kneel. You can no longer stand idle. The force surges within you, and you move, blade raised, heart burning, fear and courage indistinguishable. You clash against the figure, your saber meeting theirs in sparks that blind your eyes. For a moment you feel power, the thrill of defiance. But then, with a flick of their wrist, they send you crashing into the stone, pain radiating through your body. You taste blood, you taste failure. Yet the force does not abandon you. It whispers, urgent, insistent, rise. You stagger to your feet, trembling, your saber humming weakly in your grip. The figure advances, eyes gleaming with mockery. A Padawan, they sneer. The council sends children to fight its war. Their blade comes down and you barely meet it, sparks showering your face. Each strike drives you back, each word cuts deeper than their saber. You are not ready, you will never be ready. But then you remember the clones, their laughter, their courage, their sacrifice. You feel their presence at your side, not as soldiers, not as pawns, but as brothers. And from that memory, strength rises. You strike again, not with anger, but with resolve. Your blade arcs true, forcing the figure to retreat a step, just one step, but it is enough to shift the tide. Your master seizes the opening, pressing forward with a flurry of blows that drives the figure back toward the cliff's edge. Lightning cracks overhead, illuminating their face twisted in rage. With a final roar, they retreat into the storm, vanishing into the chaos of battle. Victory, but not triumph. The shadow remains. Silence falls slowly. The last droid crumples, its body sparking. The clones gather the wounded, their armor streaked with mud and blood. You stand in the rain, chest heaving, your saber dim in your hand. You feel no pride, only questions, only shadows. Your master approaches, laying a hand on your shoulder. Their voice is low, grave. You felt it, didn't you? You nod. You cannot speak. That was no ordinary separatist, they continue. There is something deeper at work here. Something darker. The storm quiets, but inside you, the tempest remains. You have seen beyond the veil of faceless droids. You have glimpsed the will behind them, and in that will, you have felt something that chills your soul. As the shuttle rises once more into the night, carrying you and your brothers away from the broken battlefield, and you stare into the storm clouds. The rain blurs your vision, but not the truth. The galaxy is not divided by droids and soldiers alone. There is a deeper game being played, a shadow moving the pieces. The force whispers, low and insistent, as you close your eyes. This war is not what it seems, and you are not prepared for what comes. The memory of the storm still haunts you, the clash of sabers in the rain, the mocking voice of the Separatist commander echoing in your chest. You tell yourself it was only one battle, one narrow escape, yet you know it was more. It was proof that shadows move behind the droid armies, that the galaxy's war is not just metal against flesh, but will against will. The Jedi speak of clarity, but what you feel is confusion, and the weight of that confusion grows heavier with every mission. Now you are sent to a world on the brink of collapse. The planet's fields are scorched, its people starving, caught between the suffocating grip of separatist occupation and the indifference of a republic too slow to act. You disembark with your master and the clones, the acrid air clinging to your throat. Villages lie in ruin, homes reduced to shells of stone and wood. Hollow-eyed children stare from doorways, their faces streaked with soot and hunger. The people swarm you when you arrive, desperate, pleading. They cry out for food, for medicine, for safety. One woman grasps your robes with trembling hands. "Please, my son, he is dying. The Jedi protect the innocent, do they not?" Her voice pierces deeper than any blade. You reach for the Force and feel the faint, weakening pulse of life in the boy behind her. The instinct to heal rises in you like a tide, but your master's hand stops yours. Their voice is steady, but sharp. "We are here for intelligence, not relief. Our duty is to locate the Separatist command, not linger." The words fall like stones in your heart. You look around, at the starving, the wounded, the dying, and the Jedi Code feels suddenly hollow, too small to contain their suffering. You hesitate, torn between obedience and compassion, between order and humanity. That night, around the fire in the broken remains of a farmhouse, the clones speak quietly among themselves. They have given their rations to the villagers, their helmets set aside, their faces solemn. One of them, Rollo, the scarred captain who has become like an elder brother to you, notices your silence. "You're thinking about the boy," he says. His voice is not accusing, only weary. You nod. The Jedi way is to serve, to protect. How can we protect them if we walk past their suffering? Rollo sighs, staring into the flames. Orders don't always mean right, but we follow them anyway. That's the price of duty. He glances at you then, eyes tired but steady. The difference is, you still have a choice. The words linger. You still have a choice. The next day, intelligence leads you into the hills, where Separatist forces hide among the crags. You march with your brothers, each step heavy, the memory of starving eyes behind you. The battle comes swiftly, the droids entrenched in rocky outposts, their fire raining down in merciless volleys. Clones fall around you, and the war becomes fire and dust and screams. You fight with precision, your blade deflecting bolts, your heart thundering in your ears. But all the while, you feel the weight of the village behind you, of the boy who may already be gone. At last, the Separatist outpost falls. Silence returns, broken only by the groans of the wounded and the hiss of blasters cooling in the rain. You stand among the wreckage, chest heaving, hands trembling. Victory tastes bitter. And then, as the smoke clears, you see them. Civilians dragged into the Separatist camp, prisoners used as shields. They huddle in fear, eyes wide as the droids lie broken around them. A child clutches her mother's hand, both shaking with terror. You step forward instinctively, lightsaber lowering. Your master stops you again. We cannot linger. Reinforcements will come. Our duty is done. But your heart rebels. Duty may be done, but justice is not. You make your choice. You disobey. You ignite your saber once more and stride into the holding pens, cutting through the locks, freeing the captives. They scatter into the hills, their voices crying with gratitude, their hands reaching for yours before vanishing into the mist. Your master's gaze is heavy when you return. You risked everything, they say coldly. Our mission, your life, the lives of your brothers. You let compassion cloud judgment. You lower your head, but inside, fire burns. Compassion is not weakness. Compassion is why you fight. The march back is silent. The clones say nothing, though you feel their eyes on you, some filled with admiration, others with unease. You sit in the shuttle as it ascends into the stars, your mind turning, twisting. You chose mercy. You chose life, but you also chose disobedience. In the meditation chamber that night, you search the Force for answers. The river of light flows around you, but beneath it, the shadow churns stronger than before. It whispers in a voice you almost recognize. Mercy is power when you wield it as choice. Duty is a chain meant to bind the weak. You could break it. You open your eyes, breath sharp, heart racing. For the first time, you feel it clearly. The pull of the dark side, not as rage, not as hate, but as liberation. The freedom to choose. And yet, even as the temptation gnaws at you, the memory of the villagers lingers, the child's hand clutching yours, the hope in their eyes. The fire in your chest is not only anger, it is love. But you know this truth. The Jedi will call it attachment. They will call it danger. And the next time you are forced to choose, the price of duty will be even greater. The stars outside your window flicker like distant fires. War spreads, shadows grow, and the Force whispers its eternal challenge. What will you sacrifice? The temple feels different now. Its halls, once bathed in light, seem to carry a weight of suspicion. Every glance from a council member lingers too long. Every question from your master carries a sharper edge. Your disobedience on the last mission has not gone unnoticed. They say little, but you feel it. The quiet doubt, the scrutiny pressing against you. Your master does not scold you. Instead, they change your training. No more gentle meditation gardens or sparring matches under the temple's golden light. Now your lessons are harsher, colder, carved from necessity. Compassion is not weakness, your master tells you in the training chamber, their blade igniting with a sharp hiss. But untempered compassion is chaos. You must learn discipline, not to abandon your heart, but to master it. The duel begins without warning. Their strikes are fast, unrelenting, far beyond the measured pace of your earlier lessons. You stumble, parry, block, barely holding against the torrent of blows. Sparks scatter across the stone floor, the hum of sabers filling the chamber like thunder. Sweat stings your eyes, your arms ache, but your master does not relent. You hesitate. They bark, pushing you back with a surge of the Force. You reach for mercy when you should reach for control. A Jedi cannot afford hesitation. You rise, chest heaving, blade humming. Anger flickers in your chest, not at your master, but at yourself, at your weakness. At the impossibility of reconciling compassion with obedience, you throw yourself back into the fight, faster, harder, driven by something deeper than calm. For a moment, your strikes flow not from training, but from instinct, from emotion, and your master falters, only for an instant. The clash ends with your saber pressed against their chest, your breathing ragged, their eyes sharp and unreadable. Then they smile, thin, approving, better, but dangerous. Us. That night, your dreams return. Shadows creep through the temple corridors, whispering your name. You follow, your footsteps echoing in silence until you come to a door that does not exist. Beyond it, a figure waits, tall, cloaked, a face hidden in darkness. You are strong, the voice whispers, but the Jedi will break you. Unless you break them first. You wake with a gasp, heart pounding, sweat slick on your skin. The Force still hums with the echo of the dream, as though it was more than imagination. The next mission comes swiftly. You are dispatched with your master to a remote world scarred by Separatist raids. The jungles here are dense, the air heavy with mist. Every sound is sharp, every shadow alive with hidden threats. The clones move cautiously, their visors scanning the undergrowth, but you feel it before they do. A presence in the Force, colder than the night, sharper than a blade. The ambush is silent. Figures strike from the darkness, blades of red igniting with sudden fury. They are not droids, not mercenaries. They are assassins, their movements precise, their intent unmistakable. Sith trained. The clash is chaos. Blades hiss in the dark, sparks spraying against the dripping foliage. Clones fall quickly, their blasters useless against sabers. Your master shouts commands, their blade flashing arcs of blue in the shadows. And then one comes for you, fast, relentless, eyes burning with hatred. The duel is unlike any spar you have known. Their strikes are savage, their movements unpredictable. You parry, deflect, stumble back, the jungle floor slick beneath your boots. Fear claws at your chest, but the Force screams through your veins, urging you to move. You leap, spin, strike, the clash of sabers deafening in the close air. "You're a child," the assassin sneers between blows. "A child sent to die in someone else's war." The words cut deeper than their blade. You fight harder, pushing them back with strikes that surprise even you. For a moment you taste victory, but then pain sears your shoulder as their blade grazes you, burning flesh. You cry out, stumbling, the scent of charred cloth filling your lungs. Your master intervenes, blade flashing, striking the assassin down in a blaze of fury. The body crumples, smoking in the rain-soaked earth. You collapse to your knees, clutching your wound, chest heaving. Your master kneels beside you, eyes hard. Do you see now? The dark does not fight with rules. It does not hesitate. If you cannot master your fear, it will consume you. You nod, pain clouding your thoughts. But beneath the pain, something else stirs. Not fear, not despair, rage. Rage at the assassin's words, at the endless war, at the feeling of being a pawn in a game you cannot yet see. The Force ripples around you, darker than before, sharper, alive with anger. That night, as you sit by the fire while the clones secure the perimeter, you cannot stop replaying the duel in your mind. The assassin's voice lingers, a child sent to die in someone else's war. You stare at your bandaged wound, your saber resting at your side, and wonder if they were right. The jungle hums with unseen life, shadows stretching long. You feel the presence again, faint, distant, but undeniable. Not the assassins, something else, something greater. It does not speak, not yet, but it watches, patient, waiting. You whisper into the darkness, not sure if you want an answer. Is this my path? The leaves rustle, the fire crackles, and the Force trembles with a reply that is not words, but sensation. Your path is not theirs, and it will cost you everything. The galaxy roars. You feel it before the orders come, the ripple of chaos spreading outward through the Force, shaking the stillness of meditation. A storm is breaking across the stars, and you are no longer shielded from it by the temple's walls. The war has reached its crescendo, and you are being carried with it. The orders arrive in the middle of the night. A Separatist armada has descended upon a strategic world, an industrial hub whose shipyards fuel the Republic's fleets. The enemy intends to break it, to scatter its people, to strangle the Republic at its core. The Republic responds with everything it can muster. Jedi generals, clones by the tens of thousands, star destroyers blotting out the sky. You are among them. The shuttle rattles around you, its metal walls shaking with the rumble of engines. The air smells of oil and ozone, of sweat and tension. Clones sit across from you, helmets clutched in their hands, their faces hard and unreadable. Yet you feel their fear. It pulses through the Force like a heartbeat. And beneath it, resolve. Captain Rollo catches your eye. He grins faintly, scar gleaming in the dim light. Biggest fight we've had yet, he mutters. Stick close, kid. War's about to show you its real face. The shuttle breaks atmosphere, and the world below is fire. Cities burn, towers collapse, smoke rises in pillars that blot out the sun. The ground shudders beneath endless bombardment. The sky is filled with the clash of starships, streaks of fire tearing across the heavens. You are no longer a witness to battles at the edge of the war. You are standing in its very heart. The hatch opens and the noise hits you like a wave. Blaster fire, explosions, the scream of starfighters overhead. The clones charge, their boots pounding against the shattered earth, voices raised in war cries. You ignite your blade, its blue glow a beacon in the smoke, and the Yosusi Force surges through you like lightning. The droids come in endless waves, their blasters spit fire, their ranks stretching farther than the eye can see. You deflect bolts, cut through metal, move with the rhythm of the Force, but there are too many, always too many. You realize quickly that this battle is not about precision or elegance, it is about survival. Hours blur into eternity. The clones fight at your side, their discipline unshaken, their brotherhood holding them together against impossible odds. You see them fall, dozens, hundreds, cut down in the mud and smoke. For every droid destroyed, another replaces it. The battlefield becomes a graveyard of armor and metal, of lives extinguished faster than you can count. And still, you fight. At one point the line begins to falter. The droids press harder, pushing the clones back step by step. Panic flares in the Force, sharp and hot. You feel it like a knife in your chest. If the line breaks, the city falls. If the city falls, the Republic suffers a wound it may never recover from. In desperation, you reach deeper into the Force than ever before. It surges through you, burning, intoxicating, terrifying. With a cry, you unleash it, sending a shockwave crashing into the advancing droids. Metal bodies shatter, blasters snap in half. The ground itself quakes beneath the surge of your will. The clones rally, voices rising in awe and fury, and the line holds. But the moment lingers. The Force still hums violently in your veins, not with serenity, but with raw power. It thrills you, it frightens you. For a moment you are not just a Padawan, you are a weapon. The battle rages on into night. Fires burn where towers once stood, painting the sky in orange and red. The smell of ash and blood clings to you, suffocating. You move on instinct now, your body aching, your blade heavy, every breath a struggle. Around you, the clones fight with the same exhaustion, their laughter gone, replaced by grim determination. And then you see it, a fellow Padawan, no older than you, cut down in the chaos. Their saber extinguishes as their body falls into the mud. You freeze, horror gripping your chest. You knew death was inevitable, but to see one of your own fall, young, unprepared, a mirror of yourself, it shatters something inside you. Rollo drags you back to your feet, his voice sharp. Don't stop now, kid. You can mourn when we're breathing. His words jolt you, forcing you to move again, but the image lingers, their face, their fall, their silence. By dawn, the Separatists retreat. The Republic claims victory, though the cost is staggering. The battlefield stretches for miles, littered with bodies, metal and flesh alike. Smoke still rises from the ruins, carrying with it the scent of loss. You stand among the dead, your blade dim at your side, your robes torn and scorched. The clones begin collecting their fallen, whispering names, marking armor, refusing to let their brothers fade into anonymity. You kneel beside the body of the fallen Padawan, hands trembling. Their saber lies beside them, its hilt charred. You pick it up, holding its weight in your hand. It feels both familiar and foreign, a reminder of how close the war hovers over your own life. Your master joins you, their voice low, sorrow in their eyes. This is the war we fight, not for glory, not for victory, for survival. They place a hand on your shoulder, steadying you. And for every life lost, you must remember, you carry their story now, their legacy. That is your burden as a Jedi. But inside, you feel something else. Not serenity, not acceptance, anger. Anger at the endless waves of droids. Anger at the Sith pulling the strings. Anger at a war that devours children and calls it duty. As the sun rises over the scarred horizon, painting the battlefield in light that feels more cruel than comforting, you grip your saber tighter. The Force hums in your chest, not calm, but restless. You whisper into the silence, "This war is madness." And the Force answers back, a whisper threaded with shadow, "And it is far from over." The battlefield fades, but the war never leaves you. The screams, the smoke, the face of the Padawan who fell, those things are not left behind in the mud and fire. They follow you back to the temple, clinging to your skin like ash, echoing in every meditation chamber where silence was once a comfort. The temple feels colder now, though the sun still glints from its spires. Its serenity is an illusion, and you can see the cracks. Your master senses it too. They keep you close, watching you with eyes that are both proud and wary. But the council, they remain distant, inscrutable, their chambers a fortress of whispered deliberations. You have always seen them as pillars of wisdom, their judgments beyond reproach. Yet now, when you walk past those great doors carved with the symbols of the Jedi Order, you feel only unease. One day your master brings you into the council chamber itself, not as a participant but as an observer. It is rare, unusual. The High Council sits in a circle, 12 seats filled with some of the greatest Jedi of the age. Masters Yoda, Windu, Kenobi, and others you've only seen from a distance. Their presence is overwhelming, their power undeniable. But as they speak, you hear something you never expected: uncertainty. "The war spreads faster than we can respond," one master says. "The Senate ties our hands," another replies. "They demand loyalty to their politics, not to the Force." And then Master Windu, his voice sharp, "Perhaps the Jedi serve the Republic too blindly. We were meant to be peacekeepers, not soldiers." The words ripple through you, peacekeepers, not soldiers. Yet you have seen Jedi fall as generals, commanding armies, their sabers stained with the fire of war. You glance at your master, but their face is unreadable, their silence heavier than words. You hear another voice then, quieter, more hesitant. "There is another danger. One we cannot name openly, a shadow in the Force, a Sith controlling both sides." The words hang in the air like smoke. A Sith, the ancient enemy, thought destroyed, thought forgotten. You lean forward, breath caught, but the masters do not speak of it further. Their silence is telling. When the meeting ends, you walk through the echoing halls, your thoughts a storm. The Jedi know. They know there is a darkness behind this war, and yet they speak in half-truths, in riddles, in hushed voices. They do not tell the Padawans. They do not tell the soldiers. They hold the truth close as if it were a weapon too dangerous to share. You feel betrayed. That night, you cannot sleep. You wander the temple corridors, empty and silent in the hours before dawn. You end up in the archives, standing among shelves that rise into the darkness. Holocrons glow faintly on their pedestals, whispering fragments of wisdom to those who dare listen. You reach for one, a cube pulsing faintly with stored knowledge, but the gatekeeper droid denies you. Access restricted. Only masters may view this record. You turn away, anger twisting in your chest. How much knowledge is kept from you? How many truths locked away until it is too late? You find your master in the meditation chambers. They sit in stillness, the candles flickering around them. "You heard them," you say, your voice sharp, your composure broken. The council hides the truth. They admit the Sith control the war, but they do nothing. They keep us blind. Your master's eyes open slowly, heavy with sorrow. The council withholds not from malice, but from caution. Knowledge can be dangerous in untrained hands. You clench your fists. Dangerous or inconvenient? The words hang between you, heavier than any blade. For the first time, you see your master hesitate, not in combat, not in discipline, but in conviction. Their silence tells you more than their words. The days that follow are restless. You train, you meditate, you fight, but the knowledge gnaws at you. The Jedi Council knows more than they say. They hold secrets even from their own. And every time you remember the face of the fallen Padawan, every time you recall the cries of starving villagers, every time you see clones bury their brothers, you ask yourself, how many more will die because of secrets? On your next mission, you feel it more acutely. You and your master are sent to broker peace with a neutral world to pull them away from Separatist influence. The leaders hesitate, wary of Republic promises. You see their fear, their doubt, and for a moment you understand it. Why should they trust the Republic? Why should they trust Jedi who fight like soldiers while hiding truths like politicians? That night, as you stand on the balcony overlooking the alien city, Captain Rollo joins you. He stares at the stars, his voice quiet. We'd follow you anywhere, you know. Not because you're a Jedi, because you see us. You don't hide behind words. He glances at you. Don't lose that. You say nothing, but inside the storm grows. The clones trust you. The people look to you. But the Council keeps you in the dark, pulling strings, hiding shadows, speaking of destiny while the galaxy burns. When you return to the temple, you enter the meditation chamber alone. The Force flows around you, heavy, restless. You reach into it, seeking calm, but the whisper you've heard before rises again, clearer now, sharper, closer. They keep secrets because they fear. They do not trust you. They never will, but I will show you everything. You open your eyes, heart pounding, breath ragged. The chamber is empty, and yet you are no longer sure that you are alone. The temple is silent, too silent. You sit in meditation, the candles flickering in the dark, shadows stretching long across the walls. The Force should soothe you, should quiet the storm that has been building in your heart since the council chambers, since the battlefield, since the whispers that coil through your dreams. But tonight the Force is restless. It coils around you not like a river of light, but like a current of smoke, thick, suffocating, inevitable. You reach deeper. And then you hear it, a voice, not your master's, not the gentle echo of the Jedi Masters, not the soft hum of the Force itself. No, this voice is different, low, silken, patient. It slides into your mind with the ease of a dagger finding flesh. So, you have seen the cracks in their walls. You have felt the lies beneath their words. The Council blinds you, Padawan, but I will show you truth. You snap your eyes open, breath sharp, heart racing. The chamber is empty. The candles flicker weakly, yet the voice remains, not outside, but inside, vibrating through the Force. You close your eyes again, against all instinct, and reach back. The vision takes you. You stand in a chamber vast and terrible, its walls draped in shadow, its pillars towering like fangs. Lightning flashes outside a high window, illuminating a cloaked figure seated upon a throne. Their face is hidden beneath the hood, but their presence is undeniable. The Force twists around them. Not serene, not balanced, but alive, burning, seething, intoxicating. The Jedi tell you peace is found through denial. Deny fear, deny anger, deny love. But you have felt it, haven't you? That denial is weakness. Fear can sharpen, anger can drive, love can protect. They would have you cut away what makes you whole, because they are afraid of what you might become. You tremble. Every word cuts into your doubts, feeding them, fanning the flames you've tried to smother. You remember the starving boy you left behind, the Padawan who fell in the mud, the clones burying their brothers in silence, the Council whispering about shadows while soldiers bled for secrets. The figure leans forward, the darkness deepening around them. The Republic is rotting, the Jedi decay with it, but there is another way, my way, the Sith way. The word pierces you like lightning. Sith, the enemy, the nightmare whispered in the archives, the shadow in every story of war. And yet, here it stands. Not as myth, not as rumor, but as truth revealed. You try to speak, to deny, but the words fail. The figure rises, their presence towering, suffocating, yet strangely magnetic. You have already felt it. On the battlefield, in the fire. When you reached deeper and unleashed power the Jedi would forbid. Did it not feel right? Did it not save lives? You stagger back, but the vision follows, wrapping around you like smoke. You remember that moment, the shockwave that shattered ranks of droids, the power coursing through your veins, the thrill of survival. You remember the whisper that came after, and you cannot deny it. The Jedi would call it darkness, but I call it freedom. You were not born to be a servant. You were born to lead, to shape, to command the Force as it was meant to be wielded. The vision shifts. You see battlefields burning, clones kneeling before a figure cloaked in shadow. You see Jedi falling, one by one, their sabers extinguished in screams of betrayal. And at the center, you see yourself, your blade ignited, your eyes burning, your presence terrible and magnificent. You wrench yourself back, gasping, heart hammering. The chamber spins, the candles are gone, snuffed out by a wind that should not exist. Only darkness remains. Your master finds you hours later, slumped against the wall, pale, trembling. What happened? They demand, kneeling, their hands gripping your shoulders, but you cannot answer. How can you tell them? How can you confess that the enemy has found you, has spoken to you, has shown you visions of power you cannot unsee? Instead, you whisper, I saw him. Your master's face hardens, eyes narrowing. Who? You hesitate, then breathe the word like a curse. The Sith. The silence that follows is heavier than any battle. Your master does not doubt you. Their fear confirms the truth. The shadow you saw is real. But they do not take you to the council. They do not speak of it further. They only say, you must be stronger now. Stronger than temptation, stronger than fear. The Sith will seek to twist you. Do not let them. You nod, but inside, you know the seed is already planted. You cannot forget the figure's words. You cannot unsee the vision of yourself standing in fire, wielding power that the Jedi deny you. And worst of all, you cannot shake the thought that maybe, just maybe, they were right. That night, alone in your chamber, the Force is restless again. The shadows stretch long and you hear it faintly, just a whisper, like smoke curling at the edge of your thoughts. The Jedi fear you, but I will make you strong. You do not sleep. The galaxy is burning. You feel it before the message arrives. Through the Force, a fracture, sharp and terrible, splitting like a wound across your chest. The clones you once trusted still stand beside you, their helmets gleaming in the firelight of another battlefield, their voices calm in the storm of war. Yet something beneath them has shifted, silent and unseen. A tension you cannot name coils in the Force, waiting for the moment to strike. Your unit marches through the ruins of a city, streets lined with rubble, towers reduced to jagged skeletons. The air tastes of ash and smoke. Captain Rollo leads the way, his armor scorched and scarred, his voice steady as always. Stay close, kid, he says over the comm. Intel says the droids are pulling back. Could be a trap. But it is not the droids you should fear. The transmission comes suddenly, a burst of static through every channel. You feel the words before you hear them, a command woven with inevitability, whispered in a voice you know and dread. The voice of the shadow you saw in your vision. Execute Order 66. The clones stop, their movements stiffen, their posture changing in an instant. Rollo's hand moves to his blaster. You open your mouth, confused, afraid, the Force screaming in your chest. What's happening? And then the first shot is fired. It is not at a droid, it is at you. Your blade ignites instinctively, catching the bolt inches from your chest. The world explodes into chaos. The brothers who laughed with you, fought with you, buried their dead with you. Now their blasters rain fire upon you, their voices cold and unfamiliar. The bond you trusted, the loyalty you cherished, shatters in an instant. You stumble back, heart-breaking even as your saber deflects the storm. Rollo, you shout, it's me! But his voice comes back over the comm, flat, mechanical, a soldier's command. Jedi traitor, fire at will. And the words tear deeper than any blaster bolt. You fight not to kill, but to survive. Your blade whirls, a shield of light against the torrent, but the pain is worse than any wound. These were your brothers, these were your family, and now they are executioners. Your master arrives in a blur of blue light, their saber cleaving through the storm, their voice sharp. Run! Together you retreat into the shattered streets, bolts chasing you, the ground erupting with fire. Every step feels like betrayal. Every breath tastes of ash. You duck into an alley, your chest heaving, your heart raw. Why? You demand. Why are they doing this? Your master's eyes are hard, sorrow heavy in their voice. It has begun. The Sith, this is their hand. The words hit like thunder. The shadow, the whispers, the vision. It was all leading here. The war was never yours to win. You were only pieces on a board the Sith had already claimed. The clones close in. Rollo's voice echoes through the ruins. Padawan, don't make this harder. Lay down your weapon. For a heartbeat, hope flares. Maybe he remembers. Maybe the bond still lingers. You take a step forward, your saber lowered, voice trembling. Rollo, it's me. We fought together. We survived together. Please. He hesitates. For a flicker of a second, the Force trembles, uncertain. You see his hand shake on the blaster. You see the scar across his cheek, the faint smile he once gave you before battle. You think, maybe, he will lower his weapon, but the moment shatters, his visor tilts, and the blaster fires. Your master yanks you back with the force, the bolt missing by inches. The spell breaks. The clones surge forward again, relentless. Whatever bond you thought existed is gone, buried under something deeper, something programmed, something you cannot reach. You run. Through fire, through ruins, through betrayal. Your master fights beside you, their blade a storm of defiance, but the numbers are endless, the betrayal absolute, and then it happens. A bolt finds its mark. Your master staggers, their saber faltering, their body collapsing beside you. You cry out, dropping to your knees, catching them as they fall. Their eyes meet yours, full of sorrow and pride. Live, they whisper, that is your duty now. And then the light fades from their eyes. You are alone. The clones close in, their boots echoing against the stone, their blasters raised. Tears blur your vision, your heart shatters, but the force roars inside you. You ignite your blade once more, not with serenity, not with calm, but with grief and fire. The storm explodes from you, hurling the clones back, buying you seconds to escape. You run into the night, the city burning around you, your breath ragged, your soul broken. The force is heavy with death, Jedi across the galaxy, cut down by those they trusted most. The temple itself trembles in your mind, its halls stained with betrayal. Order 66. The words echo endlessly, a curse, a scar, a truth you cannot escape. By dawn you are gone, alone, hunted, betrayed. The galaxy that once felt alive with promise is now ash and shadow, and in the silence of your flight, the force whispers once more, cruel and undeniable, the Jedi are dead. What will you become? The galaxy is silent now, too silent. You walk through ruins that once echoed with laughter and voices, the bonds of brotherhood still raw in your memory. The temple, the council, your master, all gone. The Jedi Order has collapsed in a single night of betrayal, its light extinguished not by armies alone, but by the very soldiers who once swore to fight beside you. The Republic is no more. In its place rises something darker, heavier, suffocating, the Empire, and you are alone. You move from system to system, a ghost in robes you no longer dare to wear. You learn quickly how to hide, how to dim the presence of the Force within you until it is little more than a whisper, how to cover your saber beneath layers of cloth, how to listen for the wrong words in the wrong cantina that could mean discovery. Once, you walked proudly as a Jedi Padawan. Now, you survive as an exile. The galaxy looks different through the eyes of the hunted. On backwater worlds, you see stormtroopers already replacing clone troopers, their white armor gleaming as they march through settlements with ruthless precision. The people bow their heads, some with fear, some with hope, as if trading one war for another promises stability. But you see it for what it is, a shroud of tyranny stretching across every star. Sometimes you help, though you know you should not. When a family is cornered for harboring a fugitive, you reach into the Force, nudging the troopers' minds, sending them away. When a child cries for food in an alley, you give them your rations, knowing hunger will gnaw at you instead. When slavers take villagers, you follow them into the night, your blade cutting through chains and shadows alike. Each act of compassion is a risk. Each act of mercy paints a target on your back, but you cannot stop, not yet. And yet, the shadows follow you. At night, when you close your eyes, you hear the wisp. Earswood, the same voice that first reached you in the temple's silence. The Jedi are dead. Their weakness destroyed them. You survive because you are stronger. You resist. You whisper back into the dark, I am still Jedi. But even as you say it, the words taste hollow. What is a Jedi without the Order, without the code, without a master to guide them? One evening, on a barren world of red sand and endless wind, you meet another fugitive, a knight, older, scarred, his robes torn and ragged. He recognizes you instantly, his eyes soften with sorrow. Another survivor, he says. I thought I was the only one. The two of you share a fire beneath the alien stars, speaking in hushed voices, trading fragments of the past. He tells you of how his clones turned on him mid-battle, how he cut them down before fleeing into the desert. You tell him of your master, of Rallo, of the betrayal you still cannot comprehend. The Sith planned this, he says, bitterness in his tone. We were pawns in their game, and now the galaxy cheers for the Empire. blind to the blood that built it. You look into the flames and whisper, "What do we do?" The knight's eyes glint in the firelight. "We survive, for now, and when the time comes, we fight again." But the next morning, he is gone. Perhaps hunted, perhaps fled. His place by the fire is cold, and you are once more alone. Your path winds onward. Each system brings new danger. Imperial patrols grow tighter. Bounties appear on holoscreens, images of Jedi faces marked with the word traitor. You do not yet see your own face there, but you know it is only a matter of time, and still the Force will not leave you. You feel it in every choice, every breath, every heartbeat. Sometimes it comforts you, a reminder of the bonds you once held. Sometimes it torments you, whispering of power, of strength, of vengeance. One night, as you sleep in the ruins of an abandoned outpost, the dream returns. The cloaked figure, the throne of shadows, the lightning outside the window, the voice as soft and patient as ever. You cannot hide forever. You cannot run. Survival is not enough. You want more. You need more, and I will give it to you. You wake with a cry, the old scar on your shoulder burning, your saber in your hand before you realize the room is empty. The darkness feels thicker than before, pressing closer, more insistent. The Sith's reach is long, and you are no longer sure if you can escape it. Yet when dawn breaks, you rise. You gather your cloak, your saber, and you walk once more into the endless horizon. The galaxy is vast, and somewhere in its shadows, there may be others like you, other survivors. You cling to that hope, fragile though it is. For now, survival is your mission. But in the silence of your heart, you know the truth. Survival cannot be the end. There must be more. The wind howls across the desert, carrying dust and whispers, and the Force stirs within you, speaking words you cannot ignore. The war is over, but your war has just begun.